Hi there, I'm Bible Stories, and I love sharing tales from the Bible. Today, I'm going to tell you an amazing story about the very first people God created. In the beginning, God made a beautiful garden called Eden. It was like the coolest playground ever. With tall trees, colorful flowers, and friendly animals everywhere. Then God created the first man, Adam. He was made from the dust of the ground. Isn't that cool? But Adam was kinda lonely, so God made him a friend, Eve. She was created from one of Adam's ribs while he was sleeping. Talk about a surprise when he woke up. Adam and Eve were super happy in the garden. They could eat from any tree except one. God said, "Don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil." They had everything they needed and could talk to God face to face. It was like having a sleepover with your best friend every day. But then, a sneaky serpent came along. He was super clever and tricked Eve into eating the forbidden fruit. Uh-oh, the serpent told Eve, "You won't die if you eat it. You'll be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve thought it sounded pretty good. Eve shared the fruit with Adam, and suddenly they felt different. They realized they were naked and hid from God. When God came looking for them, they were hiding behind some bushes. Can you imagine playing hide and seek with God? God was sad that Adam and Eve disobeyed. He had to send them out of the garden. Life got harder, but God still loved them. Outside the garden, Adam had to work really hard to grow food, and Eve had pain when she had babies. But they still had each other and God's love. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain grew up to be a farmer, and Abel became a shepherd. Cain liked to grow vegetables and fruits, while Abel took care of sheep and other animals. They both worked hard at their jobs. One day, they both brought offerings to God. Abel brought his best lamb, and God was really happy with it. But Cain just brought some of his crops, and God wasn't as pleased. This made Cain super jealous and angry. Have you ever felt jealous when someone else got praised? That's how Cain felt, but even worse. God noticed Cain was upset and said, "Why are you angry? If you do what's right, I'll accept you too." But Cain was still mad. He asked Abel to go to the field with him, and then he did something terrible. He killed his own brother. God came to Cain and asked, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain tried to hide what he did, saying, "I don't know, am I my brother's keeper?" God told Cain that because of what he did, he would have to wander the earth, and the ground wouldn't grow food for him anymore. So God put a mark on Cain to protect him, even though he did something really bad. And that's the story of Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel. Wow, that was intense. But you know what? We can learn a lot from this story. First, we learn that God loves us even when we make mistakes. He was sad when Adam and Eve disobeyed, but he still took care of them. Second, it's important to do our best in everything, just like Abel did with his offering. God notices when we try our hardest. Third, we should always be kind to others and not let jealousy or anger make us do bad things, like Cain did. Thanks for listening to the story with me. I hope you learned something new about the Bible today.